Hello and welcome to today's English lesson. My name is Stuart. In today's lesson, we're looking at possessive nouns in English. Let's go to the intro. Now, as I said, today's lesson is looking at possessive nouns in English and how we show possession with nouns. And there are two ways to show possession with nouns, more or less. We have the apostrophe S structure. We have the apostrophe if it's plural, and we also have with of. Okay, so we'll have a look at some of the rules associated with this. Now, this is also called the genitive or the possessive. Some people call it the genitive, some people call it possessive, okay? But basically it's the noun plus apostrophe S structure or the noun, plural noun apostrophe structure. And we use this when we're showing possession for people, animals, countries, time references mainly. So, for example, my son's room, to show that the room belongs to my son's room. The position of the apostrophe, okay? Your daughter's toys. Again, the toys belong to the daughter. The dog's kennel. The dog's kennel, okay? Where the dog lives, it's the dog's kennel. And Australia's resources. Australia's resources. So people, animals, countries. We can also use it for institutions. For example, we can say the government's latest plan, okay? The organization's latest idea, for example, all right? Now, the apostrophe structure after plural nouns, okay? Plural nouns that finish in S, of course. The boy's room, my parents' car, okay? Or your son's school, okay? Two sons. Here, one son. Here, two sons, okay? So therefore, the apostrophe goes after the S. Now, with irregular plurals, ones that don't have an S, for example, children or men, the apostrophe S structure, the children's pet and the men's room, okay? The children's pet or the men's room. Now, what else do we need to look at here? Well, time references, okay, mentioned up here as well. Last week's meeting or tomorrow's weather. Last week's meeting or tomorrow's weather. Now, when we have a singular noun that finishes in S, we can either take the apostrophe S structure or we can just use the apostrophe structure, okay? Mr. Jones's job, or with the S here, Mr. Jones's job. Now the pronunciation, Jones's, Mr. Jones's job. So the pronunciation for all of these is the same as if it were a plural, okay? My son's room, your son's school. So there's no difference there, okay? Now, possessive with no noun. Possessive with no noun. So look at these examples. Whose is that mobile? Telephone, of course. Whose is that mobile? Is it Eddie's? Okay. Now there's no noun here, but we know that we're referring to a mobile, so there's no need to put it into that particular sentence, okay? Is it Eddie's? And we had a barbecue at Mike and Jenny's. Now, if I hear that sentence, I'm presuming, or I know more or less, that we're talking about Mike and Jenny's house or Mike and Jenny's apartment or wherever they're living, okay? So it's Mike and Jenny's house. But we don't need to put the reference, we don't need to put the noun because it's obvious, okay? That's the example. Now, things start to get a little bit more difficult when we have the of, okay? But basically the rule is that when it's not a person, animal, country, etc., we use the structure with of. So for example, we would say the name of the restaurant. We can also use of with names, with people, when it's a very long sentence. So you could say, for example, what's the name of the person you were speaking to yesterday? Okay? What's the name of the person you were speaking to yesterday? Because it's a long sentence. So we wouldn't use the apostrophe S structure with a long sentence, even with a person. We would use an of. So what's the name of the person you were talking to or speaking to yesterday? Okay? So again, the name of the restaurant. We wouldn't say the restaurant's name. The restaurant's name. Okay? What's the restaurant's name? What's the name of the restaurant? Okay? And here, the owner of the shop or the keys of the house. Now, there is another thing that we can do, which is we can form a type of compound noun, two words together. So instead of saying the owner of the shop, we would say the shop owner. Instead of saying the keys of the house, we would say house keys, okay? But this is the most difficult thing to learn when we use of. Now, it's too complicated to explain in this lesson, but I'll do another lesson one day which will explain in more detail when we use of and when we use this compound noun structure in order to show possession, basically. So the owner of the shop, shop owner, the keys of the house, house keys, the keys of the car keys, for example. Where are the car keys? You can say where are the keys of the car, but more common to say where are the car keys. Thank you very much for watching the lesson. If you have any questions or any comments, please leave them in the section below. Please share the video on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Pinterest. Share it up on social media. I'll see you in the next lesson. Have a good day. Bye.